Las Vegas, and British professional Sam Trickett is about to play for the richest prize in poker history.
Sometimes I don't know where this dirty road is taking me. Sometimes I don't know the reason why, so I guess I'll keep gambling. Lots of moves and lots of rambles.
I think that all young kids want to be rich and famous and successful when they're older, and I certainly did. It's all I ever thought about. I was very money orientated.
Sam's journey began a long way from the neon glitz of Vegas. He grew up in Retford, Nottinghamshire, determined to be a footballer.
He was exceptional at most sports, and to be honest, I could never see him working in an ordinary job.
I was good at football when I was young. Nottingham Forest came in and asked me for trials. I kind of felt like I was a bit of a professional footballer back then as well. And from when I was like 13, 14, my attitude kind of stunk. I was actually left Forest because they offered me a reserve spot or something in the team, and I didn't want to be a sub.
So at 16, the failed footballer was forced to get a real job.
He was an apprentice plumber. He wasn't qualified. He was just on some like £60 a week or something.
He was up early every morning, travelling to Nottingham every day doing his plumbing, and he didn't get a lot of money for what he was doing.
Then Sam met the man who would become his best friend, a chance encounter that would change his life.
I've always been sort of a bit of a gambler, and I've always enjoyed poker, and we won a poker competition. I remember Sam, first time he come, didn't really know how to play.
I remember them putting the hand rankings on the walls on bits of paper, and I'd be in a hand and I'd kind of be like, like looking to see what I was doing.
And the first time I played, I think he come 8th.
Just the way people was talking about poker that was experienced at the table, it was kind of like saying, oh, this guy at the bar's a card shark, and I'm like, card shark? I didn't even know what that meant. Asked him what it meant. He's like, oh, he's really good at playing cards, and I didn't even know you could be good at playing cards.
Within 2 months, he won 3 in a row.
To find out you could gamble at something where you could have an edge and there was skill in the game. As soon as I found that out, I got my head down and started playing loads.
And the more Sam played, the better and better he became.
This is not rigged, I promise. This is not rigged, I promise. All in.
All in. Wow.
First time. Cheers, mate. See you.
His rise was meteoric, from local pub games to high-stakes poker in less than a year. Sam quickly recognised his talent had given him an opportunity. But not even in his wildest dreams did he see this coming.
It's been called the unthinkable, unbelievable, sick, and every other adjective under the sun. But most of all, it's historic.
In Las Vegas, the curtain is about to go up on the one drop. Sam has paid $1 million to compete in the richest poker game in history.
He just knew the one drop was 100% knew he was going to do well in it. Told everybody, this is going to be my tournament, I know I'm going to do well.
All the way up in the run-up, he kept saying he's got a good feeling, he had a good feeling, and we all had this good feeling. So his mind was just in the right place. He knew we were going to do well. He was really confident.
He's got that belief, and when he's got that and you see that in him, as a mum, you believe too.
All the build-up to the $1 million tournament was amazing. Like, he got like the Cirque du Soleil guys in on the drums and what have you. It was like he was going into a boxing fight.
In seat number 7, Sam Trickett.
I was amazed with his confidence. I was thinking back to my time playing poker, and I don't know if I was ever truly that confident.
You got that feeling that he was pointing himself towards this tournament. And, you know, when he showed up in the shorts and the T-shirt and the flip-flops, I just kind of thought to myself, wow, you know, this is his time.
The Rio Hotel in Las Vegas was the stage for a sporting first. The one drop would be the jewel in the crown at the renowned World Series of Poker, the sport's annual showpiece.
The World Series of Poker is the world's largest poker festival. It's the Olympics of poker. This is where the best poker players and amateurs collide.
There's a certain history associated with poker and a certain prestige, and the World Series of Poker is the bellwether.
It's been in play for over 45 years now, I believe. It's in Las Vegas. It's the biggest poker tournament in the world.
Winning a tournament at the World Series is pretty much the mark of respect.
When you walk in there, it's a warm feeling of bringing that many people together that share a passion for the same game and want to compete for a massive prize. It's electric.
The prize money is outrageous. People just come because this is where they can make a lot of money and turn a dream into a reality.
I was making more money in a few hours on a poker than I was going for a full week at work, so it was just disheartening going to work, slugging it out, when I was thinking in my head, I'll just go home and make that in a few hours.
He just started with his new company, they gave him a van, all new tools, and I think the boss caught him asleep, because he hadn't slept for like 2 days, so I think he'd been playing poker constant, so he got a warning, and he just said to the guy, I don't think this is for me, to be fair.
Kind of like looked to me a little bit gone out, like, what are you on about, like, because he's not really into gambling, and we decided to part ways then, and I left there and had a shot at a few tournaments and what have you, and it worked out.
His old boss wished him well and had heard the rumours that Sam had rather taken to poker.
So what have you achieved then? Achieved a nice motor?
Yeah, I've become one of the most successful poker players in the world over the last few years. Flying, really. It's gone about as good as it could have gone.
Winnings, decent winnings?
Yeah, pretty good. Since I've left you, I've cashed for like 16 million. So, like, I'm up there with, like, one of the most successful...
16 million?
Yeah, dollars.
Being wholly honest, you know, look at Sam when he was starting out, and he wasn't your average poker player. You know, when you meet Sam, he's just an ordinary bloke.
But he's an ordinary bloke living in an extraordinary world.
Sam, a bit of controversy, but you've taken it down with an 8-point lead, 10 grand. How you feeling?
I don't know why he was contesting every point, saying he was cheating for 10 points in a row.
But if the start of his pro career was stunning, the world of poker would deal its precocious talent a painful lesson.
When you play with top poker players, some of them can tie you up in knots. I mean, you've both got 2 cards, the flop comes down, but sometimes you just do not know where you are. It really brings it home to you how good they are and how good you have to be to win a competition.
I entered a £100 tournament and I won it for like £4,500 or whatever. That was like my first big tournament, and I was playing against professionals, and I was like looking at them like thinking, I feel like I could compete with these guys.
After winning his first high-stakes game in the UK, Sam headed to Las Vegas, convinced his early success would continue.
I played a tournament and I won it for like $85,000, and then I used that money to play the 5K shootout and came fourth for like $250,000. So now I had proper money.
It was a shock. The first time it was $250,000, and that to me at the time was unbelievable.
I thought I was one of the best in the world and thought all sorts, because it does that to you when you're getting results in these big tournaments. It seems to come so easy. You think that wasn't so hard, I didn't play that good, and you don't realise you're just running really good, and you're not as good as you think you are. You just had some good results.
I don't know what he had, but he certainly had a life-changing money for most people, and he didn't have it very long. And I think a lot of it went on online poker.
I think that's where most young poker players go broke. They get that feeling of invincibility, and they play higher, they play bigger, and they play in games they shouldn't against tougher opponents.
When he was at home, you could tell when he was winning and when he was losing. I never used to sort of say a lot, but you could tell by his moods.
Not all these guys have the life experience that they need to manage money, and I think that's why you see them spend it or blow it or gamble it or what have you. You have to stay within your limits, you have to only gamble money you can afford, and if you're a winning poker player, you want to only use a very small portion of your bankroll in any given game.
I was just kind of punted my money away, my bankroll away, and I said to Tash, come on, let's buy an house, because I was worried that I wanted to have something to show for it. We arranged it all. A few weeks later, by the time we'd come back to like pay the money, I'd lost like half my money, so I only had about £50,000. So I realised now I couldn't do it.
Sometimes you can lose your whole bankroll and stack, and you have to go home and lay there at night and just think, what have I done?
That was when I started to get a little bit worried, because I was still working, so I was trying to give him what money I could.
The thing is, I was too proud to tell anybody, especially my parents, because they'd be gutted. My friends had come up to me because I was on the magazine, the front cover of the magazines for winning Luton and stuff. They're all like, oh, must be nice to be you have all this money and that, can you lend us this, can you lend us that? And I was like, still kind of trying to lend him it, but like, because I was too proud to say, no, I haven't got it.
He lost vast amounts playing till 3 or 4 in the morning. Sam had promised me twice that he wouldn't play online again with his credit card and rack up any more debts. This was after I bailed him out twice.
I just bled it away, taking shots, trying to chase back and playing in games that I shouldn't. I was playing in 200, 400 PLO online with like $10,000, $20,000 buy-ins, and just like, I wasn't even good at PLO. I got myself into like £30,000 worth of debt, and this is when I realised I had a problem. Me and Tash weren't getting on. I was going out drinking all the time because I was just obviously depressed. So we weren't getting on very well. We broke up.
After the rapid rise, Sam had lost it all. Owing thousands to friends and family, he left home, for South Africa.
I got offered an opportunity to go to Cape Town, teach players how to play poker. And I was looking around, didn't really have anything else to do, no other way of making money.
I think out of everyone, I was probably one of the only ones that didn't have an opinion. I just said to him, okay, good luck basically, so let's see how it goes.
She basically said, I think it's best you go to Africa, we're not getting on, we go separate ways, have a break. I remember sitting on the beach in Cape Town after a week or whatever, sat on my own crying and stuff because I was so upset the way things had turned out and I'd missed all my family and missed Tash and whatever. But I didn't have to face everybody, face interviews and face people talking about how successful I'd been, asking me about money, and so I just had to go there, and it was down-to-earth people. I went for an office full of lads my age and I was teaching them how to play, and because I was doing that day in, day out for 4 months and playing thousands of hands myself online, that's what really took my game to the next level, and I got familiar with all these tricky situations. I'd been in all them type of spots before, so now all these decisions just become really easy for me.
Sam was ready to put his lessons in life and poker to the test. He would return to the professional circuit a better player and a wiser man. But this time, there would be no second chance.
We'll say that every poker player has gone broke at one point or the other. And that first experience of going broke often motivates people to do it properly the second time.
If you experience that, I think when you get to the top level, you can really understand what, not just life, but what poker is about, and how to stay there and remember where we were. Let's not go back there.
Coming up, the one drop gets underway. And Sam Trickett is on the comeback trail in Vegas, aiming to win poker's richest ever prize.
Folks, you don't see poker played at that level any better. It's incredible what knowledge this Trickett has about poker.